The warrior class of feudal Japan, known as the samurai, has long been a popular subject in various forms of entertainment. Courageous, disciplined, and highly skilled, these honorable warriors have been portrayed as the protagonists in beloved movies, books, TV series, and even graphic novels. However, as is frequently true, the truth is much more intricate and captivating than the fictional portrayals. Today, we're going to take a look at what life was really like as a samurai in feudal Japan. But before we get started, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Interesting Day. The term samurai originates from the Japanese word subaru, meaning to serve. This word is associated with the warrior class that emerged during Japan's Heian period in the 8th century. During this time, knights were going on crusades in Europe. The role of the samurai evolved over the years, and by the 12th century, they resembled the disciplined warriors we are familiar with today. Prior to the Heian period, Japan's imperial court relied on drafting inexperienced and unreliable peasants for their military, while the nobility employed highly trained private soldiers. However, in the late 8th century, the government integrated these elite warriors into the national military, giving birth to the samurai order. This change replaced the previous military system with professional mercenaries, attracting the interest of elites and lower aristocrats seeking employment and valuable training. Consequently, noble families gained more influence over military policy, which they greatly welcomed. During the Genpei War of 1180, the Minamoto clan emerged victorious over the Taira clan, resulting in significant consequences. This victory led to the establishment of a military dictatorship under the rule of Minamoto Yoritomo, who became the first shogun. This marked the beginning of the Kamakura period in Japanese history. The shogun strategically deployed loyal samurai across the country as royal vassals, responsible for maintaining order in the provinces and governing on behalf of the shogun. This centralized military control continued into the 13th century when the invasions led by Mongol Kublai Khan, the grandson of Genghis Khan, compelled the entire nation to unite under the shogun's leadership. To become a samurai, one had to begin training at a young age. In fact, according to a well-known spiritual guide from the medieval era, bravery was encouraged from infancy. Children belonging to the samurai class could start learning the fundamentals of swordsmanship with wooden swords as early as 3 years old. Astonishingly, by the age of 5, these young samurai would already be wielding real lethal blades, while modern society restricts certain activities until the age of 18. Training typically commenced before the age of 10, with boys often attending specialized schools where they studied samurai philosophies encompassing spirituality, literature, weaponry, and conflict. Samurai were obligated to demonstrate loyalty to both the shogun and the daimyo, who were the feudal warlords governing different regions of Japan. These daimyo were expected to rule their territories with wisdom and benevolence. However, as anticipated, things did not always go according to plan. In reality, many daimyo were corrupt, power-hungry, and driven to expand their territories by any means necessary. This often created challenges for the samurai. They were bound by honor to carry out the orders of malevolent lords, which tarnished their reputation. As a result, the entire samurai class gradually earned a reputation for engaging in lawless and vicious behavior. Samurai held significant power and commanded respect, but technically, they were not part of the nobility. In medieval Japan's strict caste system, samurai belonged to a distinct military class that received treatment similar to merchants. Consequently, they encountered similar financial challenges and struggled to secure steady employment. Complicating matters further, different shoguns imposed varying rules that dictated the samurai's status. For instance, one shogun defined samurai as an elite group, which may sound impressive, but in reality, it was a means to exert greater control over them. Such proclamations made it even more difficult for samurai to earn a living without any additional financial support. Zen Buddhism was introduced in Japan in the 12th century, but Buddhism had been known in the country since the 6th century. Due to restrictions on animal cultivation for food, the Japanese embraced a diet rich in fruits, vegetables, and grains, particularly rice. The samurai, who often faced economic challenges, followed a strict moral code and practiced frugal eating habits. While the aristocracy and military elite enjoyed lavish banquets, samurai relied on rice as their main food source. In times of battle, they might supplement their diet with abalone, chestnuts, and kelp. Samurai were allowed to drink sake, Japan's most popular alcoholic beverage. The life of a samurai in feudal Japan was highly disciplined. They would wake up early in the morning for rigorous training and, if not engaged in battle, were expected to dedicate their time to studying. Mastery of martial arts and weaponry was essential for a skilled warrior. While samurai initially favored spears, they later gravitated towards bows and arrows, and the iconic katana sword gained popularity during the Kamakura period. However, studying was not solely focused on combat skills. It was believed that the discipline and patience required for martial arts training would also cultivate composure. Despite this ideal, historical records suggest that samurai often displayed a lack of composure when interacting with the common people. During the Heian period, samurai armor was known for its remarkable flexibility. Crafted by skilled artisans using advanced tools, the armor consisted of iron plates covered with leather or bronze strips. As technology advanced and new resources became available, samurai armor underwent changes and became more intricate. However, the increased complexity also resulted in heavier armor. The yoroi or oyoroi, a specific type of armor, included a multi-part skirt, cuirass, shoulder pads, and a helmet, weighing over 60 pounds in total. The helmets, called kabuto, were made of iron and steel, providing protection for the head and neck. These helmets were meticulously sculpted and adorned with elaborate decorations, often featuring animal iconography, reflecting the status of a daimyo warlord. This attention to branding has seemingly always been significant. When it came to marriage, samurai had certain protocols to follow. If a samurai wished to wed, they needed the approval of someone of equal or higher social rank than the person they intended to marry. Marriages for samurai of higher ranks were typically arranged, while those of lower ranks often had arranged marriages as a formality. These unions were usually within the samurai class, although the lowest-ranking members were allowed to marry commoners. While women initially enjoyed significant freedoms and rights in samurai society, the culture gradually became more patriarchal. By the 13th century, husbands had authority over their households and wives. Divorce was permitted, and it was not uncommon for samurai to have second or even third marriages. During Japan's Kamakura period, the philosophy of samurai evolved to include more than just battle and honor. They also began practicing literature and the arts, which became a significant aspect of their lives. This can be seen in a famous epic that praised a warrior for excelling in both swordsmanship and poetry. The phrase literary arts, military arts both ways captured the artistic side of samurai life, also known as the harmony between the pen and the sword. The lives of samurai varied depending on the era they lived in, influenced by factors such as conflicts, economics, moral philosophy, and geographic location. If you were living during feudal Japan, would you have been able to become a samurai? Let us know in the comments. Thank you for joining us on Interesting Day. See you next time.